Good morning, guys. It's doing something new. It's raining. Again. We actually have a small chance of a tropical storm or Category 1 hurricane next week, so Florida hates me! But anyway, for CF Awareness Day 22, I want to try and briefly describe a typical CF appointment. And the length of time that we go to these appointments depends on your current health. I've had it where I went once a month, and now I go every 3 months. And when we go, we have the usual stuff, height, weight, blood pressure, temperature, all the normal doctor's appointment stuff. Check our oxygen, our heart rate. And then we play 20 million questions with like 3 or 4 different people, or at least, I'm basing this off of my appointment. I played 20 questions with 3 or 4 different people on my medicines. I have to go over my medicine literally like 5 times. And then same questions from different people about how I'm doing and all that stuff. And then I'll typically do my PFTs next, which is the most important part of the appointment in my eyes, which is PFT is a pulmonary function test. And basically we blow into this machine and it tells the one number that I look at and that the doctors look at is called an FEV1, and it basically tells what percentage, how good my lungs are working. Like right now, my lungs are at 70% FEV1, which is really good for a CFer. Normal is 80% or above, so you can kind of gauge it off that. I'm at 70%, which is almost, in a way, saying like 70% is like 70% of my lungs are working good, or working normally or whatever. I don't know exactly how they factor that number, but I'm at a good number. So after I do the PFTs, then if I need labs, they'll draw blood, get my vitamin levels, or last time they did a oral glucose tolerance test because we can develop CFRD, but typically, which is cystic fibrosis related diabetes, but typically they'll only do that once a year. But they will test my vitamin levels, they'll test my liver levels because or can damage my liver, which thankfully it has not. And then I will see a nutritionist, go over my weight, go over how my appetite is doing, if we need to make tweaks to anything. At my last appointment, I needed to up my enzyme dosage, so just make little tweaks and just talk about how I'm doing with eating and my weight and how everything's going with that. And then sometimes I will see a, I don't know if it's like social worker or psychiatrist or whatever. I don't think it's a psychiatrist. I think it's a social worker. Sometimes I'll see her and we'll just talk about life and how things are going. And then finally I will see the doctor. She'll come in, she'll listen to my lungs, she'll, look in my ears and nose and all that stuff, and then kind of we'll just go over how the whole appointment went as a whole, if my weight's good, how are my PFTs, sometimes it'll be, do you need to go in the hospital, or are you doing good? And so that is basically like a really abbreviated version of a CF appointment. They can last, usually for me it lasts like 2 to 3 hours, and will wear me out the rest of the day because usually that's in the morning, so I have to get up early. But I'm really thankful that I have that tool with me and that my medical team is there, and I can call them if I have a problem, and their main goal is to keep me healthy, and we work as a team to figure out the ups and downs of CF, and I'm really thankful for them. So that is CF Awareness Day 22, and I don't really have any plans for today because, well, it's raining. Whew. I think Mia and the dog both just got terrified. So I'm just sitting here watching YouTube and just kind of chilling out. And it was like completely quiet outside. I mean, it's been raining, but besides that, it's been completely quiet. And then just BAM! Like the loudest thunder I have heard in a long time. It sounded like the time when thunder hit a tree in our backyard. That's how loud it was. This poor dog. I would let her up on the couch, but she's all wet, so I don't really want her on the couch. But yeah, that was not expected. So thankfully, most of the time lately, I have not struggled with appetite. I've had a great appetite. But there are days like today where 3:10 in the afternoon. And I have not eaten a thing because I just don't feel like eating, and I still don't, but I know I have to eat. And that's where I end up with these really random lunches that I'm just like, grab whatever tastes good. So my lunch is literally string cheese, a pretzel, and a pickle. I don't know why that's what sounded good to me, but it did. So that's what I picked out. And since none of those foods have very many calories, I got some strawberry milk too to try and boost up the calories a little bit. But even though this is not a lot, and this is not gonna really give me a lot of calories per se, it's better than eating nothing. And so there are days where my appetite is pretty much non-existent, and I scour the fridge and the pantry to whatever sounds good. Just sitting around, so I'm attempting to teach Cheetah how to stay. There's treats over there. Basically all she knows is sit, shake, and lie down. So we'll see how this goes. You can teach an old dog new tricks, right? She's 10 years old. Okay. Good girl! Good girl, Cheetah! Stay. Nope. Sit. Stay. Gimme! Good girl! It's just a little bit rainy outside. What do you guys think? Just a tad. Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and say goodnight and get this uploaded. I have just been playing Roller Coaster Tycoon and watching the storm outside. We've had some pretty intense lightning. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Florida gets some of the most lightning out of like any of the states. So, been just playing this, watching the storm, and kind of hanging out. The stay training with Cheetah actually went really well. She caught on a lot faster than I thought she would. So, with that, thank you guys so much for coming along on my day today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.